Okay, now we're going to start building the shocks. It says clearly right here, open bag C. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open bag C. Make sure the edges are clean from burrs. That's on your, I guess, your O-rings. And it's got all our parts that we're going to have in this bag. Since we're building shocks, I'm going to go inside and get a paper plate because it's almost impossible to get all this grit up off of this mat. I'll be right back. Okay, we got our paper plate. Now we're going to open up bag C. Get it out the way. Okay, bag C, we got our shockle. Oh, well, them were good shock shafts. Springs and the shocks and our O-rings, which is over here. You got a rubber O-ring on the outside and on the inside, and the washer separate them. And I'm going to take it that, where is the washers? I think the washers are on another tree, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I had that tree yesterday. Okay, I found those in another bag called plastic 2. And they're right here. There's 2 on this tree, which is your shock caps. And there's 2 on this tree, which are your shock caps. So we'll go ahead and take them and get them cleaned up real good. It wants them real smooth so they don't hang up inside the shock, which it's kind of hard to do when you're cutting it off of a parts tree, but you can get it pretty close. You just have to be really careful because you don't want a burr there, but you don't want a flat spot either. There's 2 of them. You see it's labeled, I don't know if you can see that, it's labeled 5 here, and it's labeled 5 there. So pretty windy here today in South Carolina. Got a bad storm yesterday, got a lot of rain. I was down at the river like a month ago complaining about we didn't have no rain, and I showed y'all a picture of the dam. Here's a picture. I'll see if I can get it to pop up. And if y'all got any room on your prayer list, how about saying a prayer for us? We need a little bit of rain down here. Usually you can't see none of that dam, and usually we can't even access those rocks way over there. Yesterday, a buddy of mine went by there after we've got, I don't know, probably 4 to 5 inches of rain, and he sent me this video right here. So we got rain now. So we'll be good for a little while. And I thank God for blessing us. There's a lot of people that got tornadoes and stuff. So remember them in your prayer. There's one person died in a tornado not too far from here. Well, a couple 100 miles, but you know, it's still pretty close. So we're gonna go ahead and build these shock bodies. Got to get all this stuff cut open. Got the holidays behind us for another year, which I always like Christmas. Let's see. Okay, so we need our collars, spring retainers, whatever you want to call them. So we'll have to get those cut out. O-ring, put one O-ring in there. Put the little plastic washer in there. And put an O-ring on top of it. A lot of people put shock oil in there. I will probably drop some in there before I put my shaft in there. And then the last part is put the cap on the bottom of the shock body. Just like that. We got that one built. Okay, now we'll put our spring tensioners or retainers, whatever you want to call that. We'll just thread them on. And you want them, I always like the metal ones better, but you know, this is an old kit, so. But basically you want it pointing with the flange down, so the spring will have something to ride on. I'll show you here in a second. Get this one started, and then I will get the open up the springs and show you what I mean. If your springs are different, they will have different colors on them. Usually they will have a stripe on them. I think all these are exactly the same. I could be wrong. I will find out. But they will usually, if they're different rates, different stiffness, they will have a little color code painted on them. But I'm almost positive that these are exactly the same. But what you want is you want that collar, if you can see it right there, pointing down. That way when you put your spring in there, it will have something to ride against. It rides against that collar. Okay, so now let's put all our collars on. We got all the collars on. Now it's wanting us to build our shafts. We will build our shafts. This, a lot of times you have to be careful with these C-clamps because they can be known to fly off and go across the room. So a good way to do it, if you can, put it inside a plastic bag and do it. Ooh, there's the one I about forgot. Probably want to get you a bigger bag. I don't know if this one will work, but take your C-clamp, get you some pliers. I don't think my shop pliers is made for this. And start your C-clamp on it like that right there and put it inside a plastic bag. I'm gonna go get a bigger plastic bag. Here's a bigger bag. You can go ahead and start it. These things can be a pain in the butt. Ooh, wrong pliers. Go ahead and start it like so, and then stick it inside the plastic bag and seat it just like that. Well, if it takes off flying, maybe it just fly into the bag. Okay, now it's wanting us to put the dampener, or I forget what you call this little thing. Most of them have holes in it. These here has got grooves cut around the side to let the shock fluid go up and down. And I think that thing is seated. It feels a little funny. There, it's seated now. It wasn't seated all the way. Now we'll put another one on the bottom. This is where I struggle. I've seen a lot of people just taking, I'll show you in a minute how they do this. They just set it on the table and push them in there. Probably be better if I'd have put this one I'm working with on first. And then put the outside one on. Yeah, I believe that would have been a lot better. And that's what I do on my next one. Okie dokie, I think we got that one almost all the way on. Try just a little bit more. There we go, all the way on. Yeah, a lot of people will take and make sure I'm in camera view. They will take this little C washer, or E washer, whatever you want to call it. Stick it on here and then push it down on the table. And I can't get it to go. It's biting into my table. Oh, didn't mean to hit the camera with my head. Let me try it right here. You could hold it with a pair of pliers. And just do it like that, yeah. Put your washer in there. Then put this one in here. You have to be very patient with these, especially this one after you get it started. You think you have it on there, but it's not all the way on there until that last little prong seats. This one, I can't even, finger's so big. Until you see that middle, I don't know if you can see that middle prong, until you see it actually touch the shock shaft. The one in the center, that's when you know it's done. So we got one of those built. Now let's do 3 more. Yay! 3 more. Four shafts. Now it's wanting us to put them into the shock body and screw the bottoms on and put the shock links on. So we'll do that. And I'll quit hitting the camera with my head maybe. All right, before you put them in that shock body, put you a drop of oil. This come with 30 weight oil. Axial 30 weight oil. Put you a drop of oil down in there. Just a little bit. And let it get down in there. There we go. Yeah. Put you a drop of oil. That way it'll go. You'll be able to go through those O-rings. Hopefully without doing any damage. There we go. where it gets nasty, y'all. Stuff gets everywhere. Especially, I'm one of them type of people that I got more, if I'm working on a car, I got more grease on me than the car's got. Make sure it goes down in there, or get some on the bottom of your shaft anyway before you put it in there where you can get a good seal. Just like that. Now we got to find the find this part right here. I got the balls laying over there. We just got to find that number 5. Find it. I think this is it right. Did they give me 2? I think this is it right here. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but it's labeled 5. Yeah. But trust me, it's labeled 5, so we'll put them on it. So we're gonna go ahead and cut these off. Got some more, I guess some are shock spacer. Oh, that's to go down at the bottom to hold the spring on. That's what that's for. I was wondering what those are. All right, now it says to put it through there and put it on your shock shaft. When I first started working on RC cars, I watched a how-to video made by Traxxas, and they never did show no shock pliers in the video. They use side cutters or dikes to hold the bottom of the shaft down here at the bottom where it won't, you know, to keep it from twisting when you put this part on. But if you can, go get you some shock pliers. You can get these things cheap, like $12, $10, $16. And that way you can hold that shaft without scarring it up. And just put your little piece on the bottom. Try to get it on there square, straight. Usually, a lot of times it won't start exactly straight. But once you turn it a few times, it'll get on there pretty straight. And get it put on there pretty good, and then stick your screwdriver through it and just do it just like that, the same way we did the links. Ooh. Until you get it all the way up the top where you don't see no threads no more. And that's it. Good feeling shock. So now we will do that 3 more times. And I'm going to pause this video while I'm doing this. Okay, now that we got all the ends on the end of the shafts on all of them, we will take and build the caps. The caps, they want an O-ring in the inside. Like you can, let's see, where's the O-ring? There's the O-ring. And they want this reserve over on the other side with a screw going through it. That's just for looks. This part here does not do anything. It's just merely for looks, because they want the AXA013, which I'm gonna say it's not that one, it's the small one. Yeah, there it is. To go up through there and hold that in place. So in other words, we're going to be doing something like this. Then we got to get that little screw with all this shock all on my hands. Got to get that little screw. I got the wrong one. I need a white one. Get that little screw all the way through that, just like that. And then start it into that. This is made to look like it's actually a shock with a reserve on it. It's two-stage. I think they call it a two-stage shock. And see, then that will go on to that. And that's how you get your two-stage shock. So we'll go ahead and build all our cap. Okay, now that we've got our reserves or second stage on our caps, it's wanting us to fill the shocks full. Plus, well, first we need to put these little O-rings in these caps. They need to go in the top of the caps. That way you won't have no leakage. You just take you something like a real big, this is actually a 1.5, and push it into the caps. Okay, there we got 4 of them. Now we're gonna fill these shocks up. If you've got a RC stand, a lot of RC stands have holes in them, and that's what the holes are for. Is so once you fill the shocks up, it takes a pretty good while for all the bubbles to come out of the top of it. So we're going to put, as you can see there, it says move the shaft up and down slowly to remove all air bubbles. But still, you will have to just let it set for a while for all the bubbles to come out. And you don't want the shocks all the way filled up. You want a little gap at the top. You don't want them completely full. You want a little bit of gap at the top. As, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there are some bubbles in there. If you let that shock settle long enough, then bubbles will just come up to the top and release themselves. So we'll go ahead and do this a few more times and just let them set over there. And I mean, you might have to let them set. Some of them you might have to let them set an hour, but just let them set. That way you don't have no noise and you're getting the full travel out of the shock. Okay, we're going to let these set, and we'll come back in here probably about 30 minutes and push the plunger back up to make sure all the air bubbles is coming out. If you try this for probably about an hour and all the air bubbles are not releasing, more than likely check your shock shaft and make sure it's not scarred. Check these O-rings, because what you're actually doing, if you keep getting air bubbles, your seals in the bottom of your shock at the lower cap are either torn, no good, or your shock shaft is scarred and it's letting in air bubbles through the bottom. It's when you push the plunger up, it's pulling them through the O-rings. But I'd say let them sit at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then come back in here, put the caps on them. Should be good to go. Okay, that was pretty quick. It didn't take long at all for the air bubbles to come out of these shocks. probably because it's only 30 weight. Now it wants us to put the tops on our shock shaft to make sure the O-ring is fully seated. You can see it down there. Make sure it's fully seated. And just spin your shock body until you get it pretty snug. You don't have to tighten it a whole lot. And that's a good, you want a little bit of rebound and not a whole lot, a little bit. That's a good shot. Your shock setup will actually be finished once you get your car built and decide how much weight's on the car. They all seem pretty close to being about the same. That's what you want. Later, well, we're going to go ahead and do it now. Let's go ahead and do it now. Okay, now it's wanting to put our retainers on the bottom. I saw them over here. Here they are, and I guess this is the screw that we're going to use. Where is here it is. It looks a little big. Maybe that's them. I got 4 of them left in my bag here, so we're going to go ahead and use these. So we'll go ahead and cut these bottom spring retainers off the take your spring, put your spring in here. Now slide your retainer on there and slide it down here. It shows it like that. Now put your screw in there and tighten it up till it locks it in place. You just want this, you know, not too tight, just, you know, kind of like firmly in there because you can't break these. And there you go, that's one built shock. We need to put our ends in there. Let me get them. I believe it's the same ones that go into our rod ends, I believe, or maybe it's, I don't see any other ones on here. So we'll want to put these in the tops and in the bottoms. And you'll need some shock pliers to do, well, you're supposed to use shock pliers to do this. Basically, it's like we did on the links. Just put that in there. Put your shock cap in there. I pushed that a little bit too far. Put it in there. Just like that. Now you will want these two, like you see down here, you'll want the two flat sides on the same side. You can change them later, it's no big deal to pop these out. There's a little piece of plastic or something inside that. Oop, there I go hit my head again. All of them's got a little piece of plastic in there. So hopefully we can get it to go in there. Oh. Went a little bit too far. Come back out just a hair. There you go. And see, we got this. Well, I guess it don't matter because you can spin it around, but get the flat sides both on the same side, the washer side of the, I don't know why. Looks like it's just where the threads came up, and maybe I tightened the shock up a little bit too much. No, that's molded into there. We'll go ahead and put some more of these in. Oh, that's molded in there. Oh. Just make sure you got all these retainers pushed all the way down on the shock end. I had to go back and redo some of them. And that's 4 built shocks. So that's the end of this video. In our next video, we will be building the transmission. So stay tuned for that. We got a revisement here of something that they must have messed up on. We'll build it, put the slipper clutch on it. And then next we'll start on the chassis. And it's got 1, 2, so. Hope you enjoyed this video.